Hello guys, it is indeed Wednesday. It is late in Wednesday, but anyways, I will try to get this video up before 12 p.m. just so I can kind of stick to my schedule. And today we're going to be starting Java. Java is a very fun language to code. You can do a lot with it. It's very powerful. It's kind of got the syntax similar to that of C, and it's object-oriented based. And it's a very easy, nice way to structure your code. Its classes are very nice with inheritance and the ID. There's some nice IDEs for it. Like what I'm using is called JetBrains IntelliJ. You can use Eclipse as well, but this is free, so you can get this off the website. The download will be in the description below. Similar to that of the C video yesterday, you are going to need an IDE before you even think about starting to code Java because this is also a compiled language similar to that of C, not an interpreted language. So you're going to need an IDE that can link to your processor and build. And once again, we're not going to go down into the hardware and explain what's kind of going on down there, but we are going to. Uh, you are going to need an IDE. Basically, that's what trying to say. Now, one other thing that you will need is one just interesting thing about Java, and since this is an interesting, or well, I call it interesting, but it's an introduction to Java. Java is different than many languages because what it does is it doesn't run on the platform itself, but it runs on its own platform called the JVM, or the Java Virtual Machine. Now, this is very interesting because this makes it compatible with so many things. You can make Android things with Java. You can make things for Linux, for Mac, for PC. You can make it's very cross-platform, and that is what's good. It is not operating system dependent. It works on its own platform, which is really interesting with Java, and I think it's pretty cool that you're running a virtual machine on your computer to run Java programs. But because of this, it is a little bit more difficult to set up. You are probably going to need to go to settings, I believe. Is it settings? Uh, You know what, it might not be. But basically, if you go and create a Java project, if you want to, just go to new project, Java. It'll probably tell you to install an SDK. Right here, my project SDK is set up. I can't remember if IntelliJ comes with its own SDK or if you have to download one. If you have any troubles and the thing says you don't have a Java SDK or anything, I will make a video on setting up Java if it is too much of a problem, and there will also be a download link in the description below for the Java SDK to install it. So you just hit next. We're going to create a project from template, command line app, and then you click next, and it will make this beautiful screen for you. So it'll have your project on the side here if you're using IntelliJ, most likely Eclipse as well, because they are very similar in look, but I like IntelliJ much better. It looks more beautiful. And so we have this main folder, your project folder here. Depending on your IDE, it'll be in a different place. Mine is an IDEA projects slash and then the project name. And then you will have these interesting subfolders. You'll have this one was exclusive to the IDE, so we're not going to really worry about that. But you'll have SRC, and then you'll have IML. We're not going to worry about IML, and we're not going to worry about external libraries. These are the libraries included with Java. We are not going to touch these because we are not going to mess anything up. So let's go ahead and click into the source folder because that is what we're going to want to be doing. Now right here, com.company, that can be exclusive to your own. So basically when you go to create a project, let me go do that real quick. Create a project, command line. See, you can pick your base package. This is your package name. This is more for development. So if you're in a team and you're in a part of a big company, you might name it like com.microsoft or something. Usually it's the reverse of a domain, but you can name it anything you want. I just keep mine as com.company. It's not a big deal. And that will be included at the top of every class in that package. And we're not going to be creating other classes today. That's a little bit more advanced. It's not too difficult, but we're not going to get into that today. We're just going to worry about the class it creates for us called main. And inside, it has already put together a nice little package for us. So as you can see, everything in Java is object oriented, so automatically it creates a class for you. You have to use a class. So public class main. Public is a viewability modifier. Once again, we're not going to worry about that today because that is more advanced. we have a method in here. Now, similar, if you watched my C video yesterday, the default method that C++ and C look for when you code C or C++ is it'll look for a function called int main with a data type returning an integer, and that is the main thing that C looks for when it's auto executed, right? It's the default. Well, Java is a little bit different because Java isn't C, right? So Java, you have public, static. Static is another modifier. We're not going to worry about that today either. Void. Void basically means it isn't returning anything. And then main. So main is the same. The method name is still the same, but the actual header for defining a function is very different. As you can see, we before in C all we had to do was int main or void main or something, and in this one we have to do two modifiers, then the data type, then the name, and then you don't really need string args. This is if you wanted arguments in your thing. We're just going to leave it there. It's not a big deal. And in between these curly braces is where we're going to put our code. Now, thankfully, because Java has a ton of libraries, and this is why Java is a great language, is because it has so many libraries dedicated to it. You can do pretty much anything in Java because there's so many, it's so supported, right? So there's built-in libraries. So unlike C, we don't need to include, stdio.h. We don't need to include any other header files or anything. We can just go right ahead and start coding, unless you want to get into more advanced things such as networking. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and type system.out.println. You can do print or println. Println will basically just print to a line, and then if you go to print again, it will create a new line after you print that line. So printline is neater if you're going for a console-based program. Print will just print it out on the screen, and if you use another print program, it'll print it adjacent to your previous one, where print line will print a different line for each, well, print line. So we're going to do println, the double parentheses, and we're also going to use double quotations in this as well to indicate that we are typing a string. In every language that I have programmed so far, double quotes are always used to indicate strings, or single quotes for some languages. I don't know if that's true for all languages. It might be different for functional programming, but for all that I've encountered so far, double quotes are the generally used indication that you are printing a string. And in here, we can just type hello world. And that is our first program. So if we go ahead and we go to build, well, actually, we can just go run main. And when we run it, which we are doing right now, it may take a little bit of time because basically what Java is doing is parsing it down so that the Java VM can read it. It'll say hello world in our console down here, and it'll say process finished with exit code 0. So I hope you guys enjoyed the tutorial. If you did, please leave a like below, comment any questions or comments you guys may have on the video, and subscribe. If you can, go check out my Facebook and Twitter pages. They will have the videos as soon as they go up because I have it set to automatically post them to it. So if you want the videos first, you can go ahead and check those out. You can go check out my Facebook page in the description below, as well as my Twitter page. And I will also be starting discussions on those pages as well as discussed in the past few videos. And hopefully we can get that all going. And I will see you guys on Friday when we'll be getting back into our zombie mapping tutorial series. And until then, peace.